Friends, Namaskar. One of the retrogressive laws existing in many countries around the world is the blasphemy law. It is such a stringent law that it demands stern action against anyone who is alleged to have insulted a religious scripture, religious person, or a deity, or even a religious tradition. And the penalty imposed on the guilty is so heavy, and at times including death penalty. We know there are thousands of cases wherein people are accused under this blasphemy law. And sometimes we also know that this law is used to settle scores against one's adversaries. And if the accused happen to be economically poor, he is unable to fight the legal battle, thereby continue to suffer in the prison. Friends, what is this blasphemy law? What is its relevance in the contemporary world where we place so much premium on human dignity and value? They presume that human words and actions have an adverse bearing on the divine being. They believe that any critiques on the divine being or a scripture or a tradition will somehow defame the religion and God and so on. And therefore, they will see that any attempt is prohibited. Any attempt to critique a religious scripture or a tradition is somehow stopped, and they might use any means to achieve their goal, including torture of people as we see around. Friends, what is this blasphemy law? Is the presumption of the blasphemy law defenders right? Do our actions and words somehow adversely affect the divine being? The believers think that they are created by God or the divine being, and they depend on the divine being for their existence. That's why they offer prayers and other offerings to God or the divine being. And they believe that it is we who need God or the divine being, and not vice versa. The divine being is not dependent on human persons. We human persons are dependent on the divine being. While I agree that nobody has the liberty to defame anyone else's religion or religious scripture or divine persons and so on, I must also add that everyone has a right to approach these realities from a rational point of view. They have a right to critique even religion and religious institutions. No religion or religious institutions or scriptures are above criticism. And in fact, reasonable criticism alone can bring about progress and development of any institution. As we see in social or political institutions, growth happens only when people raise critical voices. Friends, religion and religious institutions are meant for human happiness. They are meant to enhance human living. And therefore, all the religious scriptures, religious institutions, traditions must bring about greater happiness in human life. But sadly, the blasphemy laws do not bring about that aspect in human life. I would consider these laws an aberration, and therefore it is best to do away with these laws at the earliest. Thank you.